Hey, I'm Daphna, and I wanted to share with you today the four, but secretly five elements of energetic marketing. So, in case we haven't met, I am a business astrologist, I'm a writer, and I've been supporting spiritual entrepreneurs in building their businesses with their own unique star powers and cosmic codes and energetic marketing for at least the past 7 years. And I love what I do. And I'm so passionate about helping very spiritual women who have amazing gifts and amazing visionary contributions to take their gifts, take their services and offerings, and make them highly marketable so that they can easily sign and sell and work with and share their gifts with those who are meant to work with them. So that's kind of like me in a nutshell. And I've committed to doing these videos every week or more whenever I feel like it, just to like share this information because I feel like it's so important and so helpful. And you can always choose to dive deeper through like one of my programs or working with me, but also like even if you aren't there yet or are just kind of figuring things out, I've myself have come across so much amazing valuable content that has served me, like free content that people put out there. So I just want to contribute to, and hopefully this will really, really help you and resonate. So I'm going to be talking a lot about what these elements of marketing are and why they're so helpful and important, especially if you think you're somebody who's not really great at marketing, or if you struggle with like the content piece and with like articulating the value of your work and expressing that verbally, whether that's like on video or in written content in posts or emails or anything at all, right? Just taking what's all up in here and all of the transformations that you facilitate and all of your ideas and visions and putting them into magnetic, like really high quality content that serves the purpose consistently to attract those right people into your world. And I know how challenging it can be. I've struggled with it. I mean, I definitely have a knack for writing. I think it's my Gemini sun. But even still, like, even though I do love writing and I studied marketing and communications, um, it was difficult for me. I really struggled for a very long time with like cracking the code of like online marketing. And it seemed like just so hard and confusing. And like there's so many different like rules and approaches. But then also I've seen with clients how this is like a big struggle for them, and how especially when you're like a more spiritual creative type of person, it can prove to be like really, really challenging. And what ends up happening is like either you just don't post so much, or you're just not showing up, or you're not like fully owning it, and it holds you back, right? So I am so excited to share this more because hopefully it will inspire you to just see it differently and to do a little audit of your content to be able to see like where there's room for improvement. So I will be sharing more, but I just want to introduce to you today these elements and what it means, right? Like, what is this all about? So we all know of the four elements, right? In astrology and alchemy, we have earth, air, fire, water, fire, earth, air, water, right? You can say it in different combinations. Um, and these elements are kind of like the building blocks of everything. They're like the source of everything. And we each have our own elemental breakdown and constitution, which is super interesting and really worth looking into. But I'll talk about that another day. So, what are these elements, right? So, fire in our marketing is all about our passion and our excitement and our desire to share and to be seen and to be visible. So, that's pretty self-explanatory. It's the fire piece, right? So it's kind of like it's a frequency, right? When I when when you come across somebody's content and it's full of fire, you'll feel very lit up by it. You can just sense that they're really authentically excited and passionate about their work. And that's a really good thing, right? So that's the fire piece. Um, the earth piece is actually the part that I find a lot of my clients, especially like the really, really spiritual, energetic ones, they tend to find this one like the most difficult sometimes until they shift their perspective on it. But the earth piece is those practical pieces of your work and being able to own and articulate the tangible practical outcomes of your work, right? And no matter how spiritual or kind of woo your work is, you definitely have practical outcomes. And I love helping clients to figure out what those are. So just start thinking about that differently, because it's so important to be able to articulate that and communicate that in our marketing. That is a really essential piece. And oftentimes, if any of these elements are missing, we'll find that there's just less resonance, less conversion, less actual sales. Whether it's sales or like whatever you're trying to do with that piece of content or that marketing um, content is just not doing its full job. So, air in marketing is the intellectual appeal, right? It's being able to kind of pique the curiosity and to story tell and to intrigue and give clarity around whatever it is we're talking about. Right. So with that, we want to make sure that we're tapping into that by communicating really clearly and using space in our formatting and all those kinds of fun things. You can get like really creative with this. I'll share more about that in the coming videos. And lastly, water, which is another super important element that we have in there, which is the emotional piece, right? And sometimes if you come across a piece of copy that's just not landing or resonating, or someone's marketing is just kind of not really drawing you in, it could be that they're missing some of the water, right? There's not that emotional piece, the vulnerability, the part that allows you to connect with them on like a soul heart level to really feel safe saying, hey, I feel that too, or I'm kind of like in that same boat, right? Because ultimately marketing is about building these relationships and establishing communication for the other person who, if they do resonate, if they are looking for what your service is for your solution, right? Then they have to feel safe enough. They have to feel seen and understood, right? If you're kind of like up here above them and like too perfect for them to relate to, it's going to be hard for them to kind of like lean in. And the fifth element, my favorite, is what I call the quintessence, which is from alchemy, but it's you. It's your je ne sais quoi. It's your energetic effect and everything about you. You're a code, and it's the way you just are, just your whole being, everything about you. And that is what really makes your marketing stand out. So sometimes this is actually missing. And I know that it's like, how could I be missing from it? But it's like putting your heart into it, showing your true self, being in it like for the right intentions. It's very energetic. But if you're just writing for the sake of it or just trying to do it because like you feel like you have to, or for anything other than like your highest truth and like what you are really about, again, it's going to kind of not have the full effect that's possible. So putting yourself into it, really coming from like your heart and soul and sharing who you are and doing it your own way is like the crowning jewel of your content and of your marketing. So now that you have these elements and a little insight into how they function, you can take one of your recent posts and do a little audit. You can look through and just intuitively kind of ask yourself, is there fire in here? Is there earth in here? Right? Practical outcomes. Is there air? Is there water? And the quintessence, like my truth, my energy, my love, is it in there, right? And you can reflect and do this for a couple of posts. And if you start to see a pattern, like maybe a lot of your posts have a ton of um, water, for example, but they're really lacking earth, right? And you see that over and over. So that will give you a good indication as to, okay, I'm really good at sharing my vulnerability and my emotions, but I'm not really owning the practical outcomes of my work as much. And I want to start doing that. And you can start changing that and see what happens, see how it lands differently. Um, at some point, I plan on doing a live energetic audit. So if you want to enter to do that, you want me to kind of look at your stuff and give you my feedback and give you some insight into how you can make your content and your marketing even better, definitely comment below and I will enter you in, and I will pick at random a person to do that. But other than that, after you do your audit, come and share with me what you found. Share what element was strong for you, which one you feel is missing, and if you have any questions about how to add that element in more, let me know as well. I'm so excited to share this with you, like I said, because I really feel like it's such a simple but like really powerful way for you to write better quality, more effective content, whether again it's captions on your Instagram, whether it's emails, whether it's sales copy, whether it's even just like a bio for a podcast that you're on, all those kinds of things this can be applicable for. So if you enjoyed this, definitely let me know. If we're new and you're just seeing this, I'd love to connect. So tell me a little bit about who you are, and I'll be back soon. Thanks for being here.